And hello, everyone, and welcome to View to an All-Star. And today's very special guest, one of my favorites, she knows, and that's Katelin Shanks. Katelin is with Rockame, one of the leading software companies in the print industry, and she is the manager of sales and marketing. Katelin, welcome to View to an All-Star, and it's such a pleasure to have you here and to spend time with you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Mark. It's so much fun. We could do this honestly every day, and the internet would get so sick of us, but I'd enjoy it.
I
And I'm
know.
so excited that we're only 5 weeks away from seeing each other in person again. Like,
I know that's the best part. And in Las Vegas this year, so you're going to be on your home time zone this time. So I'm sure that's a lot better for you. And
yep.
before we get started, I just wanted to say as part of your introduction, Caitlin lives in San Diego, California, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, certainly in the country. She was married in Balboa Park, one of the most beautiful places in San Diego. And Caitlin has just been through a lot of challenges in her life. She's very strong. I admire her greatly, and that's why she's one of my favorite people. So I think you are living a very blessed life, Caitlin, and it's good to know you and call you a friend.
Oh my goodness. Well, the sentiment goes right back at you. And yeah, I definitely can't complain looking out my window right now. Very excited to go take the dog on a walk down to the beach later and yeah, forget about the taxes that I pay,
Yeah.
just got to stick your head in the sand on that front. Oh
Oh,
my
that'll
goodness.
take a lot of forgetting then, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but hey, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So
Yeah.
happy to be here. Mhm.
So, Caitlin, as you know, you were kind enough to appear on one of the series I did, Journeys of Great Salespeople, and I've been on your show as well too. And so we've had some conversations, and most of the time it's been about our personal journeys and things like that. So I thought today, since you are a Printing United Expo All Star and OG, your second year, that maybe this would be a good chance. Talk about Rakami a little bit. Talk about your role there, what you do, just your perspective from there on what you see happening in the industry and anything related to that that would be interesting for the folks to listen to.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, Rackme, like you said, we're in the software space, and our flagship product was really just a dashboard and workflow automation engine that was, vendor agnostic. Doesn't matter what equipment you got, what third party softwares you got. All we care about are connecting into those different tools that you have so that you can see the status of these jobs as they first get put into your system, as orders come through the door, all the way through things like, postal processing and digital archiving and PDF re-engineering, adding barcodes, all that sort of jazz, getting it ready for print and digital communications. And so that's, really where we started. And it's interesting because we're changing it up a little bit as we move into the end of the year, because we also have these other products we've been working on. One is an online payment tool, and specifically for utilities and governments like property tax, those sorts of things, because there's a lot of
Mm.
communications that go around with trying to get people to pay their bills.
Yep.
And we realized, we can facilitate those communications and also make it a really user friendly experience to make those payments, like those pesky property tax statements I was complaining about earlier in California. And so we did that, and we were just going directly to counties and selling that ourselves. And then we took a step back and realized, hold the phone. This could be an opportunity for print service providers where everyone's feeling the pressure to get new revenue streams and protect their margins, for them to resell to their customers who they're already doing the print and mail for. Like, this is just one extension. Now you're not just producing the communications around the bills, but you're actually collecting the payments and doing e-presentment of those documents. All of those things gets you deeper into those accounts. They can't just, price shop you on the consumables of print and mail. to the
Right.
different vendors down the street and do that all in a very secure, cloud based environment. So we're sort of changing it up a little bit to see how can we help the OGs in the industry, the print service providers, the service bureaus, get some new revenue channels established and give their salespeople something new to talk about. So that's kind of where we're going now.
That's interesting, and certainly on that recent that new initiative that you were just referring to, it's clearly the direction that the market, the consumers, the buyers are going in. They want their providers to provide more for them, so that they don't have to, less that they have to do themselves, or less other vendors or providers or service providers that they have to deal with, the better, right? So you're adding value that way. I think that sounds like it's a good idea, and definitely going in the right direction. And kind of that's along the lines, actually, you made me think about Printing United is a show that was developed for the idea around the convergence going on in the industry. Um, from your perspective in direct mail, is that happening in direct mail, print and mail? Because for many years, print and mail was almost like its own island, and it's been commercial moving towards that, and that moving towards commercial has been kind of crawling along, I think, for a while. But I'm curious, from your perspective, do you see a lot of that happening? And if so, what does that look like from your experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think convergence is going to be the marketing keyword of not just this year, but next year, the year after it, because you're starting to see people get this fatigue around how many vendors they want to manage. They don't want to have to go to a print and mail vendor, a direct mail vendor, an omni-channel communications vendor. That is so much. A swag vendor, all of those just to get, printed things out the door and communications sent to their customers and their clients. So that's happening all over the place. And I think as consumer preferences change, especially with direct mail, and really the whole rest of the industry, who wants actual pieces of mail, who wants digital communications, you're
Right.
realizing that you're going to need to change how your offerings can best reflect what those customer needs are. For example, everything needs to be secure now. Everything's basically PII. And so direct mail, I think, has been greatly impacted by this. They were kind of on the outskirts of this. I wouldn't have necessarily thought direct mail and PII, security, compliance, those were not the keywords I was assigning to direct mail. Yet, that's sort of where the industry is going. Well, you know who does that really well? The transactional printers and the service bureaus out there. So
Exactly.
you kind of start to see those worlds blend and mix together because you've got the security over here, the direct mail over here. All of it is coming together so that you can be, a one-stop shop for your customers. Because at the end of the day, our communications that we're sending out are all around the customer communication experience, that life
Right.
cycle. And if you can't get that from one vendor, I just feel like it makes it really difficult and disjointed to achieve that same level of interconnectedness around the communication life cycle that's hitting a client's mailbox and their inbox.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting, because it just tells me that no aspect of print, and there's many aspects of print, but none of them are immune to what's happening with conversions. And unlike many things in the past where it was the technology that came out, oh, and now we, because of that, or because that is happening, we have to converge these things together, or things have to merge, or something goes away. Now it's really customer driven. The customers are telling the vendors, hey, I don't need 10 of you, I just want to have two, and you have to do all these different things for me. And I think that's a good thing. And I think it's really a good thing, especially for the small and medium sized businesses. Great opportunities for them to grow and be more valuable to their suppliers. So, and another thing that leads to, on that note, is direct mail. It's not that long ago, people were predicting the decline and continued decline of direct mail, but we're definitely seeing a resurgence of it.
No
How do
kidding.
you see that? And is there anything generational that has something to do with this resurgence of direct mail?
Oh, I mean, 100%. I'm no expert by any means, but just even in my own life, I can tell you I am much more excited to go to my mailbox than look at it's okay, it's embarrassing. In my personal email, I think I've got like 10,000 emails in my inbox because it
Yeah.
clutters it up. You're on all these mailing lists. It's honestly a bit of a nightmare. I guess I should have ChatGPT go in there and clean it up for me now that I'm talking about it. But you want to be able to go to your mailbox and see things that are physical, and you only have 7 things to sort through instead of the 10,000 emails every day that are coming in. So having that tactile experience is such a throwback and such a novelty, I think, especially to the younger generations who grew up as digital natives. Now, I came from the land of, dial-up internet and the one family computer, and my mom, yelling down the hallway, kids, get off the phone, I'm on the computer, or vice versa.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
On the landline, you hear the dial up sound. And so I feel like for kind of the older millennials, kind of that group that I'm in, that kind of brings us back to a nostalgic place of going to the mailbox. And then I think for, the Gen Z, the Gen Y, the younger generations too, who probably they don't know what dial up is, let's be real. But they have grown up on their phones, and there's definitely fatigue. And to be able to present something in a really interesting and unique way that doesn't feel as, influenced or, built around social media is probably calming. It's probably doing something to our central nervous system compared to, what you get on your phones. So, and I think the market and the folks who are actually producing those pieces, they have shown up to the challenge. And what I mean by that, all of the films, all of the the different shapes that you're getting in direct mail, how personalized it is, and how we're using variable data and graphics and all of the embellishments. Like, we're taking direct mail to the next level, and you can see as you flip through your mail the different quality
Oh
of
yeah.
mail is coming in. And I know my husband is probably sick of me going to the mailbox and then telling him about, do you see this? This was expensive to make. They mean business. And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. But
Yeah.
but I really do. So
Yeah.
subconsciously that matters, even if you're not in print and kind of know what goes into all of that. So I just think that there is a new level of quality that we're seeing and a new level of innovation that we're seeing to really
Yeah.
meet this resurgence and demand for direct mail and its usefulness.
Yeah, that's a great point, Caitlin. Honestly, I hadn't really even thought about it, but when you say it, it's so obvious. It's not as if something old is being dragged back into the mainstream. It's very different. The product that shows up in the mail today is very different than what even just a few years ago, for all of the reasons that you mentioned, and probably even a few more. Right. So I mean, that's really a key point. Yeah, and that's a hysterical story. Just thinking about AOL dial
Right.
as well too. But I just listening to you, you have such good command of the issues, and you say it in such a simple way that, or easy to understand way. And I noticed even Deb Corn complimented you yesterday and said that was the best simple, real explanation that I've ever gotten on that topic. And oh, I agreed with her, right? And you have a really great way of doing that, Caitlin. And so I think people appreciate listening to you on that. So, and that's just, I'm sure, one of the reasons why you're an all-star. So let's swing over into being an all-star. And I tell everybody when they ask about it is, at first it was like, yeah, cool. Like, well, that sounds good. This doesn't hurt, I guess, whatever that means. And we didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of time to, it was just a couple of months before the show began, and we rushed through kind of, with the planning and everything. And I'm not saying it seemed like it was unorganized. We just didn't have much of a chance to think about it until we all first got together, and then we got together in person. And I tell people that there's a lot more to being a part of this team than what it might appear on the surface. It might look like hype, but it's not. So maybe if you don't mind, share a little bit about how all of that, played out for you, your thoughts about it. You have your own podcast, what that audience or your customers, your coworkers, how has being an Expo All Star kind of fit into your world over the past year or two?
So, I mean, it's just been like such a whirlwind of an experience. I remember when my marketing gal at the time was like, "Hey, I see this thing on LinkedIn. They're asking for all stars, and I submitted you, and I think that would be really interesting with your little podcast." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." But I didn't know what it meant, and just going through it, I remember getting on the first call with everybody about a year ago, and the level of enthusiasm. Now, I'm new to the industry. I didn't really know anybody. I think I had seen Joanne Gore maybe once at another conference, and that was probably about it. And I remember looking around going, "Oh, these are big time players. Like these folks have audiences, they have reach, they've been in the business for a long time. Like, what am I doing there?" But I've just, snuck under the radar and gotten into this group. And I'm so grateful because the amount of collaboration and enthusiasm for the print and mail industry is off the charts. And you think of it, maybe it looks like we're just a little group of influencers promoting an event, getting to know people, which I think is how it started, which is great. It is so much more. It is almost like sorority level, or maybe like a professional group. I guess I shouldn't go back to college days, but the WhatsApp group, Mark. I mean, can we talk about the WhatsApp chat for a second? Because I don't think
Give him the BTS, Katelin.
the BTS behind the scenes, we are all in communication 100% of the time, 100% of the year. Whether it's like you're going on vacation, or you're posted up and recovering from a surgery, and figuring out how you're going to get around Printing United, and what we're seeing and what we're doing, or if we're stuck. Like, we go in probably too deep, and it's probably way too personal at this point. But
Yeah, there's been
it's
a
just,
few hotel escapades in there that even
oh my
were
God, the
shocking to
hotel
me.
escapades. Yeah, it is both documenting this little group and sharing ideas, of course,
Yeah.
and just kind of collaborating. But then it's also this weird little time capsule of memories from the last year and a half. So imagine in like 5 years if we dropped our whole WhatsApp chat into ChatGPT and said, make like a documentary style recap of how this group has evolved and the shenanigans they've gotten into. And that's
Oh,
something I would watch. It's like this
that's a
whole
great idea, actually. You are so creative. That's an awesome idea. Someone's got to remember. You got to remember that. I think that would be fascinating and scary. I think at the same point, right? At the same time, but that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'm in some ways at the other end of the spectrum, right? I'm obviously at the end of my career that's been all in on print, and I don't want to say oh, I've seen it all. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, I've been involved in a lot of different things. But I have to say, I was there was a lot more to this once you get to know each other, right? Like you and I know each other now. I know who you are and what you do. I know why you're an all star, and I learned, and so many of these other people that I did not know. I did not know about their business segment. I didn't know about decorated apparel like I thought I knew. I didn't know about promo. I didn't know about signage in the ways until I got to speak to people like Wendy and Aaron and Jay that I know. I learned a lot about what's going on in print and mail from you. Everybody has contributed so that behind the scenes it's like being in this huge library and like we're the books and people are coming in.
I love
I,
that. We're the books.
Oh, go
Yes.
down to that aisle. That's where Caitlin is if you need that, right? Or go down to this aisle, and because that's where Jay is. If you want to know about apparel.
Right.
First of all, it's just great to be a part of, and secondly, it could have blown up. Everyone could have just not liked each other at all, and that never wanted.
True.
It could that very well could have happened, but it didn't. right? And so everyone gets along great, and we have a lot of fun. And once everybody opened up in that first dinner that night, then it was all kind of crazy from that point.
No kidding. And what I
It's
think is
great.
cool is that we're adding new members every year. And so, as someone who defaults to being, what is it, an introverted extrovert, I know that that can probably feel so intimidating walking into a group. I thank God I was in the first year because I think if I had tried to apply year two, I probably wouldn't have. After seeing, what this group does and the energy they bring, but I just feel like we're that type of group that is so welcoming and really just excited to learn. Well, what's in your book? Going back to your analogy, what are you, an expert in? What are you seeing? Because I think at the end of the day, we are all folks who just want to keep learning. I mean, I
Yes.
think that's really to our core something that motivates and drives a lot of us. And being able to incorporate, new industry experts who have their own viewpoints is what I'm seeing as something that's very valuable. So I hope that that encourages, other folks to come in and keep applying and become part of this community because it is really
Yeah.
so special. I think it's going to go for a long time.
And I agree. And I would, of course, I totally agree with that. And then I would even add, I hope this year we were given some booth space in the show, right? This year there's been an expansion of the Spill the Ink last year, which was once relatively small booth area that was set up for conversations. Now it's a whole district. I think it's being called the Spill the Ink district, and in there is the podcasting rooms, print mastermind. Of course, our captain, print mastermind himself, Colin, has his own. He's conducting print mastermind sessions there every day during the show. That's really exciting. Anyone watching, make sure you go to. If there's one thing you don't miss print masterminds. There's going to be that speakers corner. I'm calling it like a mini theater where there's going to be presentations going on. And then there's an area for the All Stars. So I encourage everyone who's watching or listening to this, come over and meet us. We love to get feedback. Like you said, Katelin, we're all still learning, and we want to be in touch with people that are out there and what's happening and get your perspectives, because that's how what being an all-star and being a team is all about, right? Is collaborating, getting to know more, hearing people's stories, and then incorporating all of that into everything we do. And there's no better place to do that than at the show. So I'm looking forward to, let's call it the walk-ups. I hopefully,
Yes.
right, in the All-Star area. And please, everyone, come by and see us. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that we're all just going to be there, coming in and out and doing things, all day long. I mean, for those who are walking into a conference, like I remember this from back in my big tech days, like you just didn't know necessarily how to navigate the expo floor or what to do if you're a
right.
first time, newcomer to the conference. And the fact that, we're the sort of welcoming committee, you could almost think of it, that I am so excited. I really hope people come and just ask us, well, hold on, what should I be doing? Where should I be going? Like, what do you
Yes.
recommend? Because this group is so diverse in all of the different facets of the industry that we'll be able to point you to the right people and put you in the right direction, and as well as get to know you. So I really hope that we can be helpful to people. That's my goal with going into this. So
Kate,
fingers crossed.
yeah, Kaylee, you have no shortage of great ideas. So I'm listening to this and thinking, you and I could do another, like a post of exactly what you just said. Come and if you're coming to the show for the first time and you're interested in learning about whether it's apparel or print and mail or label impact, whatever it is, come and see the All Stars, and we can help be your guide to where to go, who to see, where you can learn from, what sessions are best, and then of course we can do our best to try and help them ourselves as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. We should do something along those lines. I think that would be a lot of fun, but really helpful for people. Like you said, a lot of people show up and they don't know. All right, where do I go? It's
Yeah.
there's this huge show. It's more than 1,000,000 square feet. There's 35,000 people there. You could use a little help if it's your first time and you're not sure. We're glad to help. That's for sure.
Yes, so glad to help. And and you're going to just keep seeing us. We're going to keep popping up. We will eventually come and find you, you first time attendees. No, I'm just kidding. We're not scary. But I really think that, if you need introductions to folks, like if you're
Yes.
coming up going, I know I'm trying to get into this industry and I don't know where to start. Great. We are the liaisons, the switchboard operators that like we know who to put you in contact with and to make those connections so that you're not just having to go out on your own. Like, my goodness, we're chatty Cathy's for a reason. Use our abilities. No.
Yeah, and this is the show. It's, there's like a specific, there's shows for like specific verticals, and those are the people that they are the core of that industry. They know it. They've been involved in it. For the people that are new or getting into something new within print, this is the show that they come to. So for sure, it's good to have somebody who might be able to help you find, locate, the best products, the best technologies, the right people, the right sessions, all those things that I think the All Stars can help you with. And I think we need to find a way to kind of plug that a little bit as well. It's a great idea, actually.
We got 5 weeks. We've got plenty of time. We're gonna hit the streets and drum up some attention on this one. I think because that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll all be
Well,
most
see, that's why you're an all-star, Caitlin, because you have so many good ideas, including another one that we're going to be working on very shortly, right? So,
I
anyway,
know.
just to bring this to a close today, I just wanted to thank you. It's always a pleasure. I don't need a reason to to talk to you, but I'm glad we had one to do this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in 5 weeks. Did you say in Las
In
Vegas, and bringing all the all stars back together? So, thanks again for being here today.
Thanks, Mark.